March 1945. 5 weeks before the fall of the Third Reich, SS Reichsführer Heinrich Himmler gave the order. A special unit was to urgently blow up Wewelsburg Castle. Within days, the unit, led by Major Heinz Macker, Himmler's personal adjutant, planted 5 kilograms of TNT in the castle walls. A powerful explosion followed, yet, astonishingly, even after several blasts, the ancient Westphalian Wewelsburg Castle survived. Today, visitors can see incredible things there: magical symbols preserved right on the walls, runic signs, the sun wheel or solar swastika, the symbol of Aryan fire magicians, the Tyr rune, a symbol of military valor. Instead of the Christian cross, SS graves were marked with headstones bearing this rune. One of the most impressive spaces is the SS Obergruppenführer Hall, located in the castle's northern tower. It features 12 columns and 48 windows, a symbol of the New World Order that, according to SS plans, would be established by superhumans. At the center of the hall is a 12-armed swastika, or Black Sunday. It was here, at the Round Table, that Heinrich Himmler gathered the order's adepts to make critical decisions. According to Nazi mythology, 10,000 years ago, the Aryan proto-race, an ancient civilization possessing secret knowledge, settled in Tibet. These people allegedly could read minds, instantly move through space, and live almost forever. After a global catastrophe, the Aryans relocated to Tibet, where they mixed with other peoples and lost their superhuman abilities. Adolf Hitler was fascinated by the eternal ice theory, which claimed that a massive cosmic body had struck Earth, causing floods and tsunamis. That, according to him, was why between 1938 and 1943, the Third Reich sent 5 expeditions to Tibet. In 1939, SS sports instructor Heinrich Harrer joined an expedition to Tibet. Officially, the goal was to climb the Himalayas, but they never reached the summit. After descending, the expedition was arrested by British patrols. The territory was then part of British India. Harrer spent 5 years in a prisoner-of-war camp, escaped in 1944, and after a 2-year journey across the Himalayas, arrived in Lhasa, the Forbidden City. There, he achieved an extraordinary career, becoming the mentor of the young Dalai Lama and a powerful figure at court. At Harrer's initiative, the palace hosted athletic competitions and even military parades under the Third Reich's flag. Many experts believe that the Germans and Tibetans were jointly searching for lost knowledge to create an Aryan superhuman, capable of reading minds and moving through space, using the relativistic laws of the universe. Harrer refused to discuss these matters for the rest of his life, only in the 1990s calling his SS membership a youthful mistake. In 1917, Professor Alexander Barchenko published an article on radiant energy, the electromagnetic radiation of the brain. He claimed that by interfering with these processes, it was possible to control the human subconscious. His work attracted the interest of Soviet intelligence, and a special unit was created under Gleb Boki at the OGPU. At 1 Furkasovsky Lane, the Black Room was set up for experiments. Many historians consider these experiments successful, though Barchenko and Boki were both arrested and executed 10 years later. Mount Kailash in Tibet held special importance in these studies. Barchenko believed it to be a giant psychogenerator capturing cosmic energy. The Third Reich's expeditions also sought its secrets. In 1939, an expedition led by Ernst Schaefer discovered ancient burials and clay tablets with symbols resembling phonograph records in China's Qinghai province. These artifacts may have been prototypes for the infrasound records. The remains in the graves were small, with unusual skull shapes, and the tablets depicted planetary diagrams and trajectories from distant stars to Earth. Some researchers believe this is evidence of contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Moreover, the legacy of these experiments echoed in Wernher von Braun's space program. His Vulcan rocket became the foundation of both American and European launch systems, and no more advanced carrier has been designed to this day. In August 1939, Heinrich Himmler personally greeted the Tibetan expedition, and its leader Ernst Schaefer became a national hero of Germany. In May 1945, in the small German town of Heilbronn, British troops discovered an enormous, oddly shaped structure after the end of World War II. A special commission was created to study it. After extensive research, members of the commission concluded that the strange structure was a device operating on low-frequency sound waves. In a specific mode, it could produce frequencies capable of disrupting human breathing, heart rhythms, causing headaches, and even hallucinations. These frequencies disrupted brain activity, rendering people incoherent. Yet, despite the British engineers' best efforts, the device would not start. Specialists concluded some components were missing. The device might have been forgotten, had British soldiers not stumbled upon remnants of documents in Wewelsburg's basements months later. In them, it was written, "In March 1940, I ordered the German Tempo factory to release a batch of phonograph records with recordings of popular English performers. On each record, our laboratory specialists recorded infrasound inaudible to the human ear. All records were sent to England and were supposed to cause feelings of fear, dizziness, mental disorders, and even death among music fans. But no expected effect occurred. Laboratory specialists deemed further research necessary." Signed, K.F., May 14, 1940. Researchers believe the Third Reich's secret laboratory was developing cutting-edge acoustic weapons. But how did they obtain such technology, when no country in the early 1940s was researching it? Acoustic weapons only appeared 40 years later. Answers began to emerge in 1962 when the German magazine Vegetarian Universe published the diary of one of the expedition members. The diary claimed that in 1939, in Qinghai province, the expedition found something incredible: niches carved directly into the cliffs containing ancient burials. Nearby were clay tablets resembling phonograph records with center holes, only a few millimeters thick. After careful examination, the expedition concluded the tablets were magnetized. Experts called this astonishing and suggested the tablets became the prototype for the infrasound records intended to destroy English music lovers. When the records were played over loudspeakers, people reportedly went mad. When comparing dates, everything aligns. Schaefer's expedition returned to Germany in August 1939, and the killer records rolled off the Tempo factory line 6 months later, in March 1940. That is why Heinrich Himmler himself welcomed the returning expedition. But the most astonishing revelation was that the ancient burials next to the tablets were not human. The remains measured no more than 130 centimeters, and the skulls were oddly shaped. The tablets depicted planets, Earth, Moon, and a dotted trajectory leading from a distant star to Earth. If this is true, it suggests the Nazis may have obtained superweapon technology directly from an extraterrestrial civilization. Some researchers even argue that this explains the breakthroughs of von Braun's rocket program. His Vulcan carrier rocket became the backbone of American and European space programs, and no more advanced carrier has been developed since. As another artifact, researchers point to a 1997 discovery of flying discs about 3 meters in diameter and weighing 400 kilograms, unearthed during excavation work for a coal mine. Some claim these were spaceships of aliens visiting Tibet. Tibetan scrolls and libraries describe that UFOs visited Tibet and established contact with Atlantean priests supposedly still living in caves. However, other scholars disagree, arguing these strange beings were not extraterrestrial. The unusual shape of their skulls, they believe, resulted from exposure to high mercury concentrations in local springs. Yet, in recently declassified documents, the Nazis referred to these beings as representatives of the legendary Aryan race, the very race believed to have migrated to Tibet after a global cataclysm. The core philosophy of Nazism was the idea of the Superman, the Übermensch, as described by Nietzsche. In their vision, the Superman possessed perfectly proportional body forms and reflected the golden ratio. It was precisely such individuals they sought in Tibet. And so, the story draws to a close, but only for this chapter. More awaits us just around the corner. If you're intrigued by this tale, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next episodes. I'd love to hear your impressions and thoughts in the comments. share what moved or surprised you. Your support is what inspires me and keeps this journey going. See you soon.